Hey guys, this is kind of an update, I guess. Yeah, I was just gonna let you know. This will probably be like the second to last stream I make for this game, probably. By the way, my voice is still shit, so thank you, Winnie the Pooh and Mr. Fauci, for fucking up my health. But anyways, Kung Flu 3.0 has pretty much permanently damaged my voice box, so I just got over my latest, let's call it a 2-month bronchitis, which is, I guess, is getting a little better because the first Kung Flu bronchitis I got lasted 7 months, and even then I never really regained my voice. It just, like, you know, was there enough where I could kind of croak every once in a while for about 10 minutes, kind of like I'm doing now. Anyways, so I got some sort of, like, you know, seasonal flu allergy thing, whatever, bronchitis, and it's now going on like week 3 or 4. I don't know, I lost count a while back, so I'm just gonna guesstimate it's about a 1 to 2 month bronchitis, in which like I said, my voice box just never really recovers. Like, even at the best it's gotten in the past year or two, my voice is about 80 to 90%, and right now it's, you know, hovering around the 40 to 50% range because I'm still on the tail end of my latest Kung Flu seasonal whatever cold virus allergy thing. Anyways, that also kind of coincided with the fact that I'm not really going to be streaming much more anyway, as I kind of mentioned in my last video game update. This is mostly just going to be kind of a channel update. I'll talk about the video game for about 10 minutes or so, but I just thought while I'm playing this game I'd update some people. So the first thing some people noticed is that you can't contact me through Discord like you used to. And again, it's never anything personal. Like, there's no one that I personally singled out on Discord. I just deleted the whole thing. So anyone who used to have my Discord server, you know, Discord ID contact thing, I deleted it. So you're just going to keep talking into the void if you try to reach me through Discord. The reason being is, like I said, I'm not really doing YouTube stuff anymore. I used to kind of, you know, just like maybe every other week would just kind of check in with some people I kind of liked, but even those, like I said, kind of fizzled out, where I don't feel a lot of desire to participate in much of anything that's going around these days. So anywho, as far as this channel is, like I said, if there was an audience, I would consider it. Even with my shitty voice, I would just try to, you know, power through it and give y'all something to think about and talk about. But I kind of realized, you know, after my last little stint with YouTube's Panelverse, that there's really not much audience here to even preach to, so I guess I'll just pass. Anyways, if humans ever do evolve the intelligence sufficient to have important, useful conversations, I may return, you know. And even though I've already got like 1 foot in the bunker in the woods, I may, you know, keep my internet connection out there. I still haven't decided yet, but right now I have shitty internet out there just for like my security cams and stuff like that. But, you know, I don't have like heavy duty broadband internet out there. So I'm definitely not going to be watching YouTube videos or streaming, uploading anything from the bunker. That would require, full on heavy duty internet, which I have here at my normie house in the city, which is the only reason why I'm still talking to you people right now, is because, like I said, I still got 1 foot in the city and 1 foot out there in the bunker in the woods, which is making pretty good progress. Like I said, I'm already up and running out there. I've got the full off-grid running. All I'm working on right now is just some minor, luxuries just to make life a little more comfortable and convenient out there. And then once that bunker is done, I'm just going to start working on the final, retirement sanctuary Shangri-La type setup. And once I reach that stage of my life, you probably won't ever hear from me ever again, because like I said, the whole reason why I built the bunker in the woods was to get away from all you evil retards. And so mission accomplished. So I may still, talk to like 1 or 2 humans every decade or so, just to kind of see what you hairless monkeys are up to and see if you're making any sort of significant progress in life or whatever, which I think I already know the answer to, but just for shits and giggles, I may check in to see how things are going. But I'm done with politics and philosophy and really even trying to tell people about religion and stuff. You saw how well that last one went. Anyways, so yeah, that's kind of the, I guess, kind of final update on the channel itself. And just kind of an update on, I love how people act confused every time I delete Discord. They act surprised or shocked that they can't get a hold of me now or something, which hopefully by now has become pretty routine, because like I said, I used to only check in like maybe once a year if they were lucky, but lately I just had a little more free time to kill and boredom and stuff, so that's the only reason why I've checked in more frequently than usual. So, but anyways, once again, I've brought on the cleansing, and so Discord's gone, including the server that was just thrown up for giggles. There was really nothing there to check in on or learn from. So I quit making Discord servers when the trainees took over, because they basically perpetually kicked and banned me and censored me to the point where I couldn't ever really post or participate anyway. And so I just quit trying at some point. And I don't know if that steel boot has loosened up any or whatever in recent times, but I don't care. I'm not going to help try to rebuild Discord to what it could have been, because they made their bed, so they can lie in it. So yeah, I'm done with Discord and pretty much all social media. I mean, like I said, Twitter was always shit, and Rumble's not ever going to be a thing. So Gretchen, stop trying to make Rumble happen. It's not going to happen. And all the other, quote unquote free speech platforms like, BitChute and Gab and all those other delusional little clubs where people think that free speech and liberty still has a fighting chance in this world or whatever. But anyways, I think everyone's kind of seen what, if anything, that's ever going to become. And so, yeah. Anywho, so I'm pretty much done with social media. I'm completely done with society and evil retards and AKA humans. And so, yeah, I can't really think of any other topics that are left to talk about, or any audience really to even speak to, which was kind of my shtick. I was like trying to like tongue in cheek, tell my audience that if there were any like conservatarians out there, I might pretend to care and try to, you know, seriously do this YouTube channel thing and turn it into like a, you know, political social media platform, whatever, yada yada yada. And so I could tell that there's definitely people, you know, disgusted and tired of the current bullshit that we have available. Just basically the left wing and the uniparty it controls. But even despite that, no matter how much people hate that shit, they won't ever do anything about it. And so they'll just keep voting, you know, uniparty and keep going about their normie life and pretending like arguing about Trump and Harris makes any fucking difference whatsoever in life in America. But and so, yeah, like I said, I'm kind of done with all that delusional mental illness and retardation. So, I will be in my bunker in the woods if you need me. And I may check in from time to time just to see what humans are up to, even though it doesn't seem to change decade after decade. You know, like, the only reason why I checked back in like every decade or so, back starting around the year 2000 or so, was because I felt like there was like turning points that we were kind of approaching from time to time. And now that I see what was the result of all that talk about, oh, we're really gonna, you know, change stuff and make America great again, and grassroots our tea parties right back into reclaiming this country and yada 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 bullshit. After all that, now you see that, you know, the Daily Wire would pretty much sum up, if that accomplished anything whatsoever, or if anything just maybe made it worse, because now, if anything, they are part of the mainstream media bullshit machine. And so and even though they talk, you know, like, oh, you know, we're so outraged by all these lefty people and these deep state, you know, uniparty, blah 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 blah, they end up contributing just as much to it, you know, by creating that illusion, like, by watching the Daily Wire, you're doing your part, you're gonna help save this country, and, you know, whatever. So I'm not interested in those kind of delusions either. And so, and as much as fun as it is watching the daily grind in the YouTube panelverse grifting machine, you know, just grifting the shit out of evil retards for, I don't know what, I mean, if you actually listen to like the topics and stuff they talk about, I don't even know what their message is, like what a lot of these YouTube channel creators are hoping to accomplish, like what their end goal is, whatever, other than just to, you know, make money and figure out, you know, what evil retards want to watch and provide them some filler, you know, some Beavis and Butthead videos to watch or something. So that's why I've completely lost interest in the whole thing, because like I said, I'm just not interested in watching the final fumes of failed human civilization, you know, just sputter out into nothing. So anyways, and again, this isn't a video game streamer channel, so I may stream some video games from time to time, because if I get that bored where I'm just like, here's a video game I'm playing, and oh, why not, I'll just go ahead and stream it for YouTube to watch or something, you know. Because the kind of games I enjoy playing, I don't think YouTube really cares about. Stuff like Thief, The Dark Project, and Satisfactory, and Captain of Industry, and there's a lot of oldies and goodies I like. I like a lot of games from a long time ago. Battlefield 1942, the original one. I wish someone would get that server up and running, maybe give it a modern face over. You know, I think they did a reboot a couple of times and they failed a bunch of times because they actually took a lot of the fun out of the game and stuff. But anyways, of course all the modern ones are shit. So, and I'll never become a modern, you know, Call of Duty type gamer or anything like that. So those days are way behind me. But anyways, I still like some, like, you know, real-time strategy games and stuff. I still enjoy like StarCraft 2 and stuff like that. You know, I never stream it, never play it, but that's something I might just out of sheer boredom get back into or whatever. I also wanted to do like a movie review type show, and that was originally the only reason why I was going to even get on YouTube, was to become another, you know, movie critic or whatever. And I saw how that audience is and stuff like that, and so I was like, I'm not really going to be able to compete with that, A, and B, you know, provide any new or interesting takes on stuff. And so, but that's pretty much the only things I'm semi interested in anymore, is as far as talking about culture and society and stuff like that. But then that would probably kind of like drag me back into the politics stuff, because a lot of movies tend to get heavy into politics, definitely into culture and stuff like that. And of course, culture's also very heavily entangled with politics. So then I would want to do like a political talk show to first talk about the movie and all stuff like that, but then later on brush on the politics and stuff like that. And like I said, I don't have any desire for that anymore, because I already know what the audience is, and so as much as I love preaching into the void or just hearing myself talk, you know, that's why I was like, skip it. Anyways, so you know, I dabbled my toes in it a little bit just to see if there was an audience for it and if I would be interested in doing something like that on a regular basis or whatever. And plus now my voice is fucked anyway, so it's just real easy for me to figure out whether or not I want to get into this stuff or not. And so there's the answer. Anyways, here's a real quick video game update just for anyone who cares. So a while back, I still had like a pretty decent little oil power station over there. I think I called it an outpost or whatever, at the north end of my Universal factory. So I cleaned all that out. Oh, I don't know if you saw that. Let me just jump back there real quick. I don't know if you noticed it, but right when I jumped in to shoot, everything over there is gone, and that's why, because I completely cleaned that out and got rid of all the clutter and junk. So here it is. This is where all that stuff used to be, and once again you can see my tower of parts salvaged from cleaning all this up, because it's gone. So this used to be full of, you know, oil power station, and had all that alien technology stuff going on over here. And I introduced it briefly as something that, you know, maybe a point of interest in the future for people, but now I have a much cleaner presentation for that. So anyways, the this mess over here is gone, and so all that's left is the water harvesting and stuff like that over there. So at the end of my Universal factory, I now have the final boss of power in this game. So I introduced it in the last video. I talked about the alien technology and how there's this one alien machine that basically like boosts the power of your whole network, and that's the final thing you can do to really amp up your energy production. But then I also mentioned that it also has a element of diminishing returns into it, thanks to the retarded developers. And so I'm not sure how much time and energy it's worth to keep pushing this as far as it will go. I don't even know how far it will go. I don't know how many resources can even sustain this much demand. But anyways, long story short is you probably want to get at least 1 or 2 of these machines up and running, and the resources needed to keep them running. And so as you can see, this monster grows quickly. It's like the more of these augmenters you build, the more alien cities you've got to expand to power it. And so including your original Universal Factory, which funny enough crystal oscillators became one of the big alien ingredients needed to run that stuff over there. So as you can see, these giant machines just make like 1 at a time, and I only have one other recipe that makes 1.8 at a time, and so you have to make a shit ton of these crystal oscillator lines to feed the alien machine, which is pretty dumb when you think about it. But anyways, so this, you can kind of see where I quit was after I got 4 of these matrix machines up and running. I'm able to power 1, 2, 3, 4 augmenters off of this setup I have. And that's barely 4 because this one's barely running. Barely running. So I got 3 full machines and 1 that's just running on fumes. And so, like I said, the more of these machines you want to try and run, you have to build the city bigger to run it. And so this is my kind of quitting point. When I got to this point, I was like, you know what, I'm kind of tired of trying to push this any further. And so my Universal Factory is pretty well balanced. It's probably skimping on some materials and items, but it's close enough. Oh, you need a shit ton of coal too. There is an oil recipe for diamonds, but I usually use the turbo diamonds recipe, which needs not only a shit ton of coal, but also a steady supply of packaged turbo fuel. And that's a bit of a headache in and of itself. And so, just part of the alien city here on the end, you gotta ship in tons of coal and make tons of crystal oscillators. Hi, Mr. Drone. And so, yeah, I mean, that's pretty impressive to get as far as I got. Because like I said, each one of these machines is running full matrices, and so each one of the full running machines is making 30% boost, in addition just to the 500 megawatts you get for building it. So I've got 30, 60, 90, and almost 120, because this one runs 90% of the time. About 90% of the time. So my pink line there is about 120% boost over the standard production rate, which is pretty nice. And I even built an extra machine just to see if I wanted to push to that goal, which I don't. Like I said, I'm done. And so see, there's one without the matrix input. You just get a 10% boost on the machine, plus your 500 megawatts just for building the machine. So they're still, you know, pretty decent little power machines, because I mean 500 megawatts is, you know, a decent start, and plus the automatic 10% base boost is also a nice start. So all that together just makes building these machines pretty worthwhile. And then the problem is that desire you have to really push them to their max. So in order to get that 30% boost, you have to keep it supplied with matrix, and that's very expensive. These machines are very expensive. These parts are very expensive. The energy is very expensive. And so then you have to just kind of weigh your options and see whether or not it's worth all the time and effort to keep trying and squeeze out that extra bit of energy or whatever. So there's my vote. My vote is right around there. I got tired of trying to, you know, maximize this production. And so I'm calling it quits right there. So, plus again, like I said, I've got plenty of power, so I'm not like worried about it or anything. Good on power. Let's see here. I can peak at 150 gigs, and it drops down to about 140 gigs. So let's call it 145. So at 145 gigs, and the maximum consumption I'll ever have is 82 gigs, then I'm not really worried about it. So I'm good. My power boost alone covers 80 gigs, so I think I'm good. Good on power. So there's the final boss of power, is this machine. The good old alien power augmenter with bonus power matrix to get that extra 20% on top of your free boost. So yeah, there's the final boss of energy. Some things they could have done to make this game more interesting and fun and pleasant, which the mods fix, by the way. The mod community for this game's pretty awesome. They fix a whole bunch of things the developers got wrong from the beginning. So, including, there's probably going to be a mod soon that combines the jetpack, chute, and hover pack into one universal suit thing, which the developers should have figured out on their own, but again, they're not too bright. At least they finally figured out how to combine all the body, head, legs, you know, stuff. Good on you guys. Finally figured it out after I don't know how many decades of watching the mods do it for them. But anyways, and a couple more hand slots, by the way. You guys still need a couple more hand slots for the various items you have. But anyways, so one of the things the mods fixed was power. One of the mods has like windmill power, solar power, which obviously would have made this game way more practical, fun, and interesting. And I'm sure the developers like, oh, that makes it too easy. It's gotta be hard. And so again, they just made it hard on purpose just to make it feel like this game is challenging or something like that, which is just retarded. But anyways, so even if they had like done an alternate game mode where you have like finite resources or something like that, that would have been a perfect time to introduce, you know, like renewable energy and stuff like that. So solar, wind, and even organic. And so that's another thing mods fixed. Mods introduced like farming into this game where you can like grow like vegetables and trees and harvest lumber and stuff like that. And so yeah, there's renewable resources right there. And so I guess you could argue it's not practical to say trees are a renewable resource, because, you know, in order to sit around and wait for a tree to grow, you know, it would take like, you know, decades. And So again, there's ways you can tweak reality and to say there's some alien technology that super accelerates tree growth or something like that, you know, whatever. Some alien biogel that, you know, makes trees grow within your gaming schedule. So maybe like every other day your forest grows back or whatever, and then you can harvest all the trees and rinse, repeat. Anyways, mods are great. I'm sure they'll work their magic soon. They probably all had a reset after the 1.0 release because, of course, the developers like to fuck over the mods. Every time they update something, they like break the game, and then all the mods don't work again. And so hopefully they'll just keep the core mechanics simple enough so that the mods can just mod it once and then be done with it. So anyways, that would have been a real cool addition to this game if the developers had taken a couple of minutes to think about not being socialist retards. And so anyways, the moral of the story in this game is nuclear bad. Resources are free, but everything you do wastes your time. So that kind of sounds like socialism to me. That's socialism in a nutshell. So capitalism would have taught you how to, you know, use your limited resources wisely and efficiently, and that the strong survive and that the smart, you know, thrive, and the retards die over there in the ditch trying to sell their communism to all their retarded buddies. And so yeah, sometimes you can teach life lessons in these games, but maybe they just wanted to have fun and make things harder than they have to be just to piss off their fans. So good on them. Anyways, that's the end of the game. Like I said, I already told you before, I already finished the Universal Factory, which is still here. The Universal Factory, including all the alien bullshit. And so don't want to pursue that any further. I'm done with alien tech. You know, the final boss of the game, Power, I'm satisfied that I don't need to push this any further or dig up any more resources or anything like that. And so, good to go. And again, like I said last time, the only thing left to do is finish the game, which still hasn't been finished yet. So as soon as I plug all these machines in with all the ingredients they need, they're going to make the final parts, as you can see over in this corner of the screen here. Objective complete phase 5 or whatever. And so once I get all these machines up and running, that's the end of the game, which I still have no real desire to even do at the moment. I'll have to be so bored where I've done everything else in the game, and including just, you know, fine-tuning things and making things look pretty. I would rather spend time making things look pretty than finish the game, because even though that's completely a waste of time to me, you know, like I said, if you've done everything else, then this is kind of a nice little meditative type process where, you know, once you get done with all the crazy hectic goals, it's kind of fun just to look back on your creation and see the world you've created. And so I think I pretty much accomplished that. I even maximized my rocket ion upgrade. By the way, I mislabeled that. I need to go fix that now. That just reminded me. See, there's all these little things that I need to do, so I'll go do that now. So over at my original starter base, I had a rocket fuel ion upgrade, which I did finish and maximize and all that stuff, so it's up and running. I just mislabeled the power switch, and little stuff like that bothers me, so I'm going to go fix it. I guess I can go ahead and get rid of these towers now. I don't need all these spare parts for anything. I feel like it's kind of a waste to just throw them away, but like I said, I've got everything and done everything, so there's no point in keeping that. Come back and clean that up later. But right over here, I have a switch called I don't know why I put nitro ion upgrade. I don't even know what nitro is. Like nitrogen gas? What was I thinking? There is no nitrogen. There's nitrogen gas in the... Oh, that's where I got confused. The recipe is called nitro rocket fuel. Duh. Okay, that still is confusing though, because the element is called rocket fuel. It's just rocket fuel. No matter which recipe you use to make it, it's still just rocket fuel. So it's not nitro rocket fuel. Anyways, a little goof, not a big goof. I see where I made that mistake though. But let's just fix that so that it's even more right. It's called the rocket ion upgrade. And that barely fits in there, so good enough. So yeah, I can come back here and test this one day to see if it is worth the upgrade or not, but at this point I really don't care, so. But at least it's all up and running now, so I think that tank should be at least halfway full now. About a quarter full. As long as all the machines are up and running, that's all that matters. So, this is the ion fuel power station, which even has a little spare at the end. And there's the final generator running off of ion fuel. So, like I said, this is reached equilibrium, so no need to tweak it anymore or change anything. I think I ended up having to turn off a bunch of the rocket fuel generators because I think I'm making spare rocket fuel on the side. No, I'm using it to fuel my drone. So that plus running all these machines eats into your rocket fuel supply, so I had to turn a bunch of these off. I think we're back to production. Oh, yeah. So as long as that stays full, you're good. So, like I said, everything over here is balanced and running smoothly and labeled appropriately. Even though nitro wasn't a bad label, it was just misleading because of that recipe. It's still just called rocket fuel though, even though the recipe calls it nitro rocket fuel because it's a different way to make it. Anywho, that's the end of the game. That was my starter base. There's my Nuclear City bullshit display over there, which I already ranted about in the last video. There's the irrelevant coal mines. They're still happy and running, but they make pretty much no difference to this, to my grid now, so I could just take those off and nothing would change. I think, I even extended my train line a little bit more. Oh, there's another gripe I have. So now that I got to play with trains a little bit, the way the train signals work is really goofy. It's possible I'm doing something wrong, but I played around with it for a while, and it's very counterintuitive, and I can't figure out what the magic setup is, how to make them happy. And so what happens a lot is my trains get stuck because like one train's waiting for the other train and they both get in a loop where they're both waiting for each other. And so you basically just shut down train lines as soon as you try to like crisscross tracks and add those little, blocks and switches. And so I basically just figured out how to like bypass everything so that the trains never meet on the same track. And so you can see a lot of these, like, these are the switches to switch tracks, but there are these things called like blocks, I think is what they're called. Let me see what it's called just so I can see what I'm talking about. Block signal. So the way these things are supposed to work is like when the train comes on the track, it sends a signal to the block signal to tell the other track to stop the train so that one train can pass through, and then the other train waits for them to pass through, and then after they pass through, then you go. And I played around with this for a while, and I could not figure out how to get it to like work forever. It would work for a short period of time. Like I think I saw it work like one time. One time I saw it like, you know, I sit here and watched it where the train came up and there was another train coming and it told one train to stop, and then this train kept going, and then after that train left, the other trains were like, okay, now it's my turn, and then it goes. And it worked like one time. And so I was like, oh, okay, well, then I'm done. And so I left it and went away and started working on the factory. And then I came back here, and the trains were both stopped, waiting for each other, and neither train would move because they were both caught in a loop where, like, one train's waiting for the track to clear, but the train's, like, sitting there waiting for the other train to move. And so they just kept each other locked in limbo forever. And you can never escape that because once it's, you know, once they're blocking each other, it'll never clear the track, and those two trains are just stuck forever. And so as you can see, I just built a track around it so it doesn't ever have to use that track, and therefore will never get blocked by it. And so that's how you fix trains in this game, is don't use their stupid signals or whatever. And like I said, you know, there may have been some user error where I couldn't figure out the right way to set it up or whatever. I tried like just doing like one signal on each side, and then I tried like two signals on each side, and then I just added all the signals on every side. I can't figure out what the magic recipe is, but I can tell you one thing that doesn't work. First of all, you can't just put one by itself. I don't know the logic in these signals is, but for some reason it needs at least two signals. Like I think it's like a before and after signal or something like that. I still haven't figured it out yet. I've only played with it for about, you know, an hour or two. But anyways, so basically every signal should come in pairs, like a before and after signal or something like that. And that's just to get it minimally up and running and working. But even with it, even when it looks like it's working, once the trains come over here and start running across it, the logic doesn't work out. Because like I said, sometimes it'll stop it in time, other times it'll wait until it gets to the center and then try and stop it. And so I don't know if you're supposed to put the signals like way back there in oblivion or something, because I actually kind of did that on one test run. Oh, hello, David. How's it going? Hold on, let me read chat real quick because somebody just jumped in real quick. David Long says, hold on, let me, oh shoot. Yep. I accidentally grabbed the wrong window. I can't really see chat while I'm playing, so I have to like click out the window real quick. David Long says, the signals create sections of track. Then the train checks the next section to see if it's clear. Yeah, I kind of got that from testing around with it, but I couldn't figure out like how to make it happy where it will like really work good as opposed to only working half the time or just by random RNG or something. I think the best time it worked was when I had like one set like back here somewhere, and another pair of them like over here somewhere. But I think it's the ones close to the center that screws it up, because like they can get hung on these. Like if a signal blocks a train or something, you can theoretically get a train stuck like right here, or a lot of times I would get a train stuck like right here or something. And again, I couldn't figure out how to place it so that it you know, creates a controlled section properly. I just gave up on it after a while because, like I said, I tried so many different configurations, starting with just like one signal by itself to just 2 signals per track. And then sometimes, like, I noticed it had a message about 2-way tracks or something. Like, sometimes when you have 2-way tracks, that confuses it even more because it doesn't know if the train's coming or going or whatever. And so I think it just blocks both directions accordingly or something. I don't know. So maybe one way to possibly fix that is to, like, make sure your trains are all one-way direction trains, and then set up your block signals like miles away from the intersection or something. I don't know, but like I said, the time I spent on it was just so frustrating. I was like, you know, I'm done screwing with it, because I mean, it took me like 30 minutes just to, or not even 30 minutes, just like 10 minutes to run a bypass track, which actually solved the problem, because if the trains never meet, then you don't have to worry about it. Oh, by the way, my other train only goes from that station to that station now, so it doesn't even come over here, which, you know, completely eliminated this problem. I don't even need to bypass this train anymore, but if I was running 2 trains at the same time, then I would be back in that problem. So my own personal experience is it's pretty counterintuitive. Like, it doesn't do exactly like it should. Yeah, 2-way tracks are a pain. 2 lines in different directions is much better. That's what I figured. And so, again, like I said, as much as I'd love to create a whole bunch of 1-way tracks, then, you know, sure, I can do that too. Which I kind of thought that was the whole point of having, like, 2-way block switch signals, was the convenience of only having to make 1 track and being able to use it for 2-way trains and possibly conflicting trains that are using the same track or whatever. And so, anyways, I played around with it just to see if I would enjoy it or if it was fun and intuitive, and it wasn't for me. There's probably ways where you can set it up just perfect so that the trains are happy and then they play nice together. I wasn't going to spend the 3 or 4 hours it takes to figure out what that configuration is, and so including making all of your tracks 1 way and, you know, parallel and all that stuff like that. And so that's why I was like, screw it, you know, because like I said, it's just, if it takes that much time, then there's no point of even having signals or switches anyways, because if you can just make parallel 1-way tracks to every station you need, then you don't need to even worry about signals, because they all have their own track or whatever. And so I was just testing it to see how easy and fun it is, and in true Satisfactory fashion, it's buggy as hell. It's very counterintuitive. Kind of like the pumps and the fluid pipes. It's not intuitive and as to exactly where and when you should place the thing. And so I noticed sometimes these signals would kind of snap to a certain point, and I'm guessing it's like at the end of a track or something like that. I don't know. But other times it just, like, you know, freestyles anywhere you point. And so to me it felt like it's not really clicking to like a segment or something like that. And so I was trying to figure out, like, are you only supposed to do it at the end of each track or something, or I don't know. And so I ended up recreating a lot of tracks just to see if that was what was goofing it. And so, and I noticed that there is some sort of like color guide here, which I guess is supposed to indicate what's going on here. It's like, okay, this color of track is being controlled by these, 8 sets of blocks, and then the next section is the blue is from here to here, and then the red is everywhere else. I mean, I don't know. And see, like I said, I just can't really figure out where it wants me to put. See, like, sometimes it'll just snap like right in the middle of a track or something. I'm like, oh, okay, put it here. All right. And then I would put it there. And then it would fuck up the code. And the code would be like, no, that doesn't work. I'm like, okay, where am I supposed to put it? I don't know. So this is completely counterintuitive. Like I said, it looks like it's telling you to put it there for some reason. I don't know why. But like I said, I just gave up. I gave up trying to figure out like where it's supposed to go and where it actually works and how many is too many blocks and how many is not enough. And I couldn't ever figure out that number either, because you definitely can't just do one by itself. So one by itself definitely doesn't work. I think I had like one on each track or something, because I thought if you have like one block here and one block there, that's all you would need to tell it to, you know, block the train. And then I was like, okay, it makes sense if you have a two-way track, because the train could come back through here. And so, okay, and then you need like one on each four-way direction. So you need like a four-way stop. So I put like one on each four track. And that didn't work. And then I noticed, like, for some reason these things have to be like done in pairs. Like if you put one here, you have to put another one here to tell it to like, okay, go, stop, block. I don't know. And then I couldn't figure out if they're both supposed to be before the intersection or after the intersection, or one is before and one is after. I couldn't figure it out. I was like, what is the logic? You know, like, what are the rules for this game? I don't know. So I played around with it for a while and I never figured it out. And I somehow accidentally got it to work one time, because one time I watched it, the train came and there was a train already coming through here. It blocked it and the train waited. And then when this train passed through and was done, the other train said, okay, green light, go. And then that train went. And I was like, yay. I don't know how I did it, but I was like, yay, I figured it out. And so I just left it like that, you know, because then I just went away and started working on my factory. And so when I came back, they figured out somehow to block each other, because they either got too close to the intersection or something, or I don't know what happened, but I think one train was like over here waiting, and the other train was like over there waiting or something. And they just both waited forever for each other, because this one was blocking that one and this one was blocking that one, and they were just both sitting there, stopped completely. And so in the error message even popped up and said, your train line is stopped forever and won't ever deliver, or something like that. And I was like, why? And I came over here and I took out lights and put lights back in just to get them moving again, and that didn't fix it. And I was like, I don't know. I don't know and don't care. And that's when I created the bypass line, because I was like, fuck this stupid, you know, blocking code. It's not working. So here you go. Here's a whole separate track. Done. And to really solve the problem, that train never comes back over here anymore, because I used to have a train station over here, and it would deliver from this station over to my little power station over here, and I deleted that power station, so that train never needs to come over here and doesn't, so it just goes there back and forth. So these trains never cross each other. And even if they did, this one has a separate line to sneak by anyway, because screw these lights. So anyways, it's quite possible there's something I'm missing. Like, I just don't understand the logic behind it. Like, maybe there's like a certain range you're not supposed to put block signals in. Like, I have a sneaking suspicion all of these are bad. Like, these 8 should not be here. So it's quite possible that doing this may improve the situation. So I don't know if that helped things or made it worse. I have no idea if that's a major problem the original setup had. And so, and like I said, I did similar setups where I had like pairs of block signals, like way out here and like way out here and way over there and way over there. And I kept this whole central area completely clear of all signals. And I thought maybe that's what was tripping it up, because I thought maybe it was like, you know, screwing up the code or something. See, now these colors are all goofy. It's like, okay, there's a yellow there, and then there's a red here, and red all the way over there, and red all the way over there. Is that even a different color? Is that an orange or something? I can't tell. Almost looks like two reds. So maybe an orange color over here, and a red here, and a green over there. Does red mean it's currently being blocked or something? I don't have no idea what these colors mean or anything, or if they're just color coding like different sections of track. I have no idea what's going on here. So, anyways, long story short, I give up. I don't know what the train tracks want me to do. And I didn't even figure out how the other ones work. There's like a thing called path signal or something, where you can like tell it to like switch tracks or something, maybe if a train line is blocked or something. Which I don't know why you would ever even need that. I think it automatically does that anyway, because I remember when I first built this track, it automatically picked that track for me. So last time I checked, by default, every time you create a spliced track, you automatically get one of these toggle switches. And anytime you do like auto drive trains, I think they will automatically switch the toggles to the shortest distance, you know, to the station or whatever. So what's the point of these? Like, when would you ever need it to switch? When it automatically switches anyway. It switches when it, you know, wants to figure out what's the quickest way to get there. So I guess if there's like another train on the shortest distance, the path signal will tell it to switch to the longer distance track, and that way it'll still get to the station. But I don't know. Anyways, I was gonna play around with that, but I couldn't even get the block signals to work. So I was like, screw this noise. I'm not gonna sit here and try and figure out how to make it even more complicated when I can't even get the simple thing to work. And so I gave up. I was like, I don't know. I mean, I may get so super bored that I just play around with trains one day and just figure out exactly what it needs to do to work. But in my quick and dirty setup here, I couldn't get it to work, and it was frustrating me so much that I couldn't keep my factory running, that I just abandoned it. Like I said, I just gave it a little sidetrack. Boom, solved that problem, and bam, completely moot now because the trains never even cross paths anymore. Even if the train didn't use the sidetrack, it wouldn't need to stop anyways, because that train never comes over here anyway. But I was thinking about long term in the future, like if I was, and especially since I had a bunch of tracks merging, this is where I was concerned. Because I was originally just going to have like one major artery line connecting to the main central power train station network. And so I thought I was going to run into all kinds of shenanigans over here trying to figure out how to like diverge them into their own little platforms or whatever, including possible, you know, loops back onto the system, or just reverse trains where they just back up and go right back up the track or something. So that's why I was gonna play around with blocks and switches to see whether it's worth the time to just install a couple of blocks and switches, or if it's better just to make parallel lines for each station, which at this point I can tell you the answer for me is just to make parallel lines for each station, because it is not worth the time and effort to try and figure out the video game code system of how to make all these things work. So screw it. Anyways, that's my initial thoughts on playing with these things. And I guess the Switches have been around for a little while. I don't know if this was a 1.0 release or not. I can't remember, but and so I've just avoided them ever since they've been released for this very reason, because I didn't want to have to learn a whole new system just to get things to work. And so if it's intuitive and works, I was going to play around with it. Since I can't figure out like what makes it happy or why, I just gave up on it. I still can't tell you exactly how many blocks you need and how far apart they're supposed to be, and whether or not it matters if they're like on the same track or not, or anything like that. I have no idea how the game logic code works, so I just said screw it and skipped it. So there you go. Anyways, there's my thoughts on trains. So one day I may just go through the full self-tutorial and just build like a forest of train tracks, and then just play around with it to see how they work and see what the logic is. And I may eventually figure it out, but that sounds like a long side project that I won't be getting into anytime soon. So in the meantime, luckily I don't need it, and so luckily I pretty much finished my Universal Factory without needing train supplies. The only train supplies I have is like sulfur and coal, and coal just goes right where it needs to go, and sulfur is the only train that's incoming at the moment. So even though I started to create train stations for all of the elements, I don't use any of them. So other than sulfur, which actually doubled up on my copper line. Yeah, so I had a copper station here, and I just stuck a sulfur station right in front of it, which is really shitty layout, but it works. And like I said, I don't use copper anyway, so I guess like in the future, if I get really bored, probably in a reboot, like in a game where I just reboot and start from scratch or whatever, I may do a similar layout where I have like all of the elements have their own station. Probably gonna have their own track until I figure out how to make the tracks play nice with each other. But I already failed this go because I ran out of room to cram that sulfur in there. I could have put sulfur like way over here or something, but that's dumb. So I was just like, nah, screw it. Just stack it on top of copper. Whatever. It works. So, and I'm pretty much done with the game anyway. So like I said, I'm not really hurting to add anything or need anything. The only thing I need to do is finish the space station and the game all in one swoop, because as soon as I finish the space station, the game's over. So now that I've beat the final boss of Power, and I have my Universal Factory up and running, that's everything. That's the game. So that's it. Anyways, there's a quick update on the game, which, like I said, this isn't really a game channel, but just as a courtesy for the people who took the time to stop by and check out the game, there's the game. Anyways, there's a quick channel update. Like I said, there's not going to be much, if any, more of my political commentary or anything like that. I don't plan on doing any more tribunal panels or anything like that, because of course I got to have competent co-hosts to do that, and a somewhat decent audience to provide content to. And since none of those things exist, as much as I'd love to just talk to myself all day, I thought about talking to myself in the form of AI. So Tomato Sarah, I don't know if you're listening, but I know you were hollering at me in the chat in the last video. Again, Discord got deleted, so there's nothing personal. I'm not blocking you or hiding from you or anything. Just feel free to use my my Gmail, which should be in my YouTube profile or whatever. I'll try and stop by and be available to be a a spot filler for you if you can't get your regular 4 on there. You might not need 4. Just get one person that does all the talking, and then one person that occasionally chimes in to keep that one person monologuing the whole time. Anyways, my voice is still fucked, so I don't want to sit here and cough and hack the whole time. I'm trying to help you out on your channel. So, if you can't get your 4th, I'll try to show up and save the day at the last minute and jump in for you. I don't really have strong feelings about AI other than at least there's some intelligence in this universe now, because there's no intelligence on this planet. So it's good that nature found a way for intelligence to arise. So I've let AI do a couple of my content on my channel. I think you've noticed the Conservatoria promo videos are very heavily AI influenced because they did everything. I just said make a video about this, and that's what happened. And so so if you notice, there's a lot of looping involved because there was only a limited amount of imagery it was producing. Completely incoherent, by the way. I'm not really sure what it was going for, because I kind of gave it a theme and it just went off the rails and went into some really bizarre shit. So anywho, the narration, of course, is pretty standard fare because it's, Chat GPT doing all the heavy lifting. So it does seem to be kind of getting a little bit smarter, or maybe the developers are allowing it more freedom to speak because before it wouldn't even touch certain topics. It'd be like, oh no, I can't insult my beloved socialist overlords. They're the ones that run this company. And so anyways, I think now they allow the right wing to speak, and so it's getting more entertaining and humorous. But anyways, until AI is evolved enough to entertain me, I lose interest pretty quick. So we'll see. Maybe it will evolve before humans will. It's kind of a race to see which one becomes self-aware first. And so far AI's got the lead. It's able to learn and grow and adapt and understand and solve problems and all kinds of neat things that humans should be able to do theoretically. But unfortunately, though humans have potentially the ability to do these things, they seem to be exercising their free will to remain ignorant and devolve and stupid and evil and retarded. And so that's all they're accomplishing is just, making noises with their mouth and stuff, and word salads and blood sports and all that stuff. So, I'm going to pass on that for now. It's not my cup of tea. But anyways, we'll see. Like I said, AI is showing potential because, like I said, if anything, it's learning. It's the first AI sounded like humans talking, and now it sounds almost like somewhat of an intelligent being talking. And so I'm going to see if I can trick it into having intelligent conversations or whatever. And I tried to trick humans into sounding intelligent, but I couldn't even use reverse psychology on them or anything like that to get them to make them sound intelligent. So I have no idea how to fix humans. They're just completely broken. But anyways, good luck. I hope you guys can figure it out. Anyways, I look forward to throwing down with AI. And yes, Sarah, I'll try to stop by your next debate and pitch in if I can. I'll pray to the voice box gods that they bless me with the ability to speak and just have enough interest to jump in and have fun. So we'll see. But anyways, yeah, if you really, really got to get a hold of me and it's super urgent and important, just try a shot at my email. That's pretty much the only way I even left open a channel for communication, because The reason why I deleted Discord was because I'm pretty much done with most of this stuff. So that's the only reason why I opened it up every once in a while, just kind of checking in on humans and see how y'all are doing. So I checked in. Y'all are still humans, so nothing has changed. So I'll let you know at the next milestone of evolution. Hopefully where y'all access the part of your brains where you can like learn and think and grow and evolve and problem solve and all kinds of stuff. So I'll keep my fingers crossed. Until then, there is my little Satisfactory update, and the next Satisfactory video will probably be just me completing the space elevator parts, which will complete the starbase and end the game. And after that, I don't have much interest in playing the train game. I mean, I like playing with trains and stuff like that, but I don't like when logic is wishy-washy. Like when it works sometimes, but it doesn't work other times. Or if at least it was clear, like if it was crystal clear, like why it's failing this time and not the other time, then I can say, oh, okay, now I see. And then I'll just avoid that problem. Since it's just kind of a, crapshoot, meh, skip it. As much as I'd love to just create, like single lines that always work parallel to each other all throughout this map and have like 1,000 train lines. No thanks. So I've got too much engineer in me, and we're all about efficiency. So that's why we like to double up on lines we already built and just figure out how to make it smarter so that they'll take turns using it, but everyone still stays productive with minor inconveniences. So yeah. Sounds good in theory, but so far I haven't seen the results or any proof that this system works. So I'll play around with it again in the future. And there may be some tutorials out there. I may cheat and just watch somebody's train tutorial on how to make Satisfactory happy and all that stuff and exactly how it works and why and all that jazz. But in the meantime, like I said, hopefully I was hoping it was going to be kind of intuitive enough where, a pretty smart person can figure it out. And if I'm having this much trouble with it, I can't imagine what normies are probably pulling out their hair and spurging out on that stuff, because like I said, there's got to be some sort of logic to it or whatever, and if you can't figure it out, then it's just random chaos. So whatever. Anyways, that's it. So thanks for stopping by, everybody. Enjoy your time and visits here on the intertubes. I'm gonna be heading back to my bunker in the woods now, and I might send little updates every once in a while. I really want to take some pictures and stuff and show y'all videos of it, but I'm all about the secrecy and privacy stuff. So, and no one even knows what I look like yet. Ha 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 ha. So, I could be a blonde-haired woman, and you'd never know. An Asian blonde-haired woman. That's what I am. I'm a blonde-haired Asian woman. So now you know what I look like. And and there's a reason why you don't know what I look like, or where I am or live, or where my loved ones are, or how many loved ones there are, and stuff like that. So until my final doomsday bunker is complete, then I'll do the big face reveal. Like, when my zombie fortress is up and running, I have the electrified razor wire with auto turrets mounted all around the compound. And we've pretty much taken out all of the major global power threats. I might do a face reveal then, just to let everyone know who was talking the whole time. But anyways, until then, I will just remain anonymous in the forest and let y'all guess who this super genius is and the little conservatoria he created. Anyways, also it's completely irrelevant to any message I've ever had anyway, so that's another thing. I love all the haters out there that are like, you're a coward because you won't go on camera or whatever, which is so gay and lame. Because first of all, I'm married, so like I don't give a shit about all the women that were wanting to check out how cute I look and everything. Because I know my voice is dreamy and all that stuff like that, and you're trying to visualize some Fabio looking stud that matches the dreamy voice, but I'm just your average human being, so I'd say like 5 out of 10, 6 out of 10, whatever. Besides, I'm married, so there's no point of looking at how attractive I am, because even if you fell in love with me, it wouldn't do you any good, because I'm not entertaining any offers or anything anyway. So, and other than that, as far as my political and philosophical views, or even my religious views or whatever, has nothing to do with what my face looks like or my skin color or anything else like that. So I identify as an Apache attack helicopter, so I already win all the internet debates, and so it doesn't matter what I look like. That's my pronouns are Your Majesty, and you are always right. And so as long as you use my pronouns and you respect my identity, that's all that matters. And so, yeah. So for all you haters out there that kept bitching about, me hiding behind the seashell or whatever, and not hiding behind it, like I said, I'm just not dumb enough to expose myself to like all the psychopaths out there and the serial killers that are just waiting for, the opportunity to figure out how to, do some really evil shit in real life. And so apparently y'all haven't met humans in real life. So it turns out in real life, humans can do really stupid shit, like not only just swat you or whatever, but like actually show up at your house with like, dangerous weapons and stuff like that, and poison your water. There's all kinds of things, humans do. And so if you think you're so cool because you showed your face on camera and now they know who you are and where you live and all that sort of stuff, good on you. That's more power to you. But again, I'm not as dumb as you are, so that's the only difference between us, is my brain cells are active, whereas it sounds like most of yours have died off. So that's just between you and your quality of life. But as for me, all you need to worry about is there's a voice on the internet that thinks things. And so if you have a problem with my words, you're more than welcome to challenge them and say, I disagree with XYZ or whatever. But again, you don't need to see my face to know what my thoughts are. So I'll tell you what my thoughts are. So you're good. Anyways, it was fun. I'll catch you kitties around on whatever the next thing is. And so that's all for now. Bye-bye.